Next up at UFC Vegas 100, we have Gaston Bolanos taking on Cortavious Romious. Gaston Bolanos 7-4 in his career. He is 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that knockout loss to Marcus McGee, taking on Cortavious Romious, 9-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off a recent Contender Series win. And Cortavious is one of a handful of UFC debuts on this card that should get the job done. He's a solid grappler, decent striking. He's got good power. He's got heavy kicks. He does not throw well in combinations, really one punch at a time, but he does throw really hard, and he likes to move forward. His takedowns are solid. He'll do a good job shooting and then re-shooting if he doesn't get that first takedown. When he hits the ground, he's going to land some real strikes. He's going to look for an actual submission instead of just control and camping out. He's coming off that redemption win on the Contender Series, which earned himself this UFC slot, taking on Gaston Bolanos. This guy's a solid striker, solid Muay Thai background as well. He's got good power, a willingness to engage. His whole claim to fame pre-UFC in kickboxing, all of it is just he has a handful of spinning back elbow knockouts, and he has no problem sending it. He does have some grappling holes, and they can be exploited, but you have to get through that guard. You have to get through that Muay Thai before you can try to get him to the ground. He's coming off that KO loss to Marcus McGee, where unfortunately he fell behind in the striking, and it was clear he has absolutely no backup plan if he can't win the strikes. I'm a little bit torn here. Gaston is the more experienced of the two. If you include his kickboxing background, Romious is probably the more well-rounded, but he also can be chinny. Gaston hits hard as hell. We saw Romious just knocked out, unconscious, in the Apex, in this exact same cage, just a year ago. So the odds are new. I broke down this fight originally without any odds whatsoever. And I picked Romious in low confidence. And seeing that he's a 2-1 favorite, open as a 5-1 favorite, crazy. Gaston's a very good striker, a nasty striker. Romious is the pick. There's no value here whatsoever. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Just pin it, please. Let's get it over with.
Is there another super chat? No. What am I pinning? Oh, that didn't take long. Dude, it took these guys 3 minutes. Jacob's ex-girlfriend said, I had to block you, my love, but I will always be watching from the shadows. I'm sorry, we are just not compatible. And the picture seems to be, what's her name in that fight where her head looked like an alien? Dude, it took them no time at all. I don't mean to enjoy myself at your expense. I apologize.
It seems like you're having fun, and at least I can make somebody laugh tonight.
Yeah, see? And you could text me.
I can't text you what I used to text her. Although I'm sure you enjoy sending the pictures that she used to send. Listen,
I'm laughing this hard because it's not a bit. If it was a bit, I would like, oh, Angelo has AIDS. I don't laugh at that anymore. It's funny because it's rooted in truth.
It's real. Angelo is literally laughing at my pain.
All right. Who do you think wins this fight?
Okay. Well, I actually, in breaking down this fight, I was a little probably put off from Cortavious, because he does have that knockout. He definitely was getting a little bit too aggressive in the striking in that fight versus Ramos. It's Ramos, right? I don't have notes in front of me, and I'm high as shit. So, as Ramos, but you saw in his last fight, he kind of dialed that back. And when I watched Gaston, this Peruvian striker that's supposed to be, I think I was kind of high on Gaston in that fight versus Marcus McGee. Obviously not to win, but I thought you could give him issues. These Peruvian strikers are all fucking frauds. And when you watch this guy strike, the way that he hangs in the pocket, and I know how good Marcus McGee is, And Cortavious Romious is not going to have the same striking as Marcus McGee, but this guy in an orthodox stance was throwing blind right hands and just staying in the pocket and just be like, da, 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 and just getting fucking lit up. Every time he would throw right hand, he would just freeze in the pocket. And every time that Marcus McGee got in this guy's face, he would just freeze and shell up. And then when he started getting hit, he like just kept his hands down, was like smiling, walking away, like he was like embarrassed to even be there because he knew he was getting the fucking shit beat out of him. I think his striking is absolutely terrible. I think he's going to be there to get hit by a guy like Romious, who I know is a more of a jiu-jitsu guy in his finishes, but he's got real power in his hands. And he went up against a really good boxer in Ramos and got outboxed, right? I mean, Ramos was in there slipping, they countered, he tried to go for it, ended up getting knocked out. Gaston does not have that type of boxing, be able to stay in the pocket. Honestly, I think Cortavious is going to be live for a KO here if he wants to blitz him. But if it goes to the ground, he's seeing that he can do some stuff as well. A lot of that stuff is more off his back armbar type stuff, and I don't expect Gaston to be shooting takedowns, obviously, but it's there if he needs it. I just think he's going to be the maybe not even the better striker because he's raw in his striking, but I just think he's going to be the more powerful striker and he's going to be able to find the shot.
Yeah, and he's more well-rounded. I mean, Gaston, if he can't win the striking exchanges, that's it. Like we saw in the last, there's just not a backup plan. He doesn't go to anything else. He's just like, okay, well, I'm going to keep trying this even though it's not working. So we're both on the Romious side. Jacob's a little more confident than I am.
Yeah, you mentioned he can go to something else if something's not working. I wish there was, I wish that in relationships that if something, isn't really working out for two people, you can kind of talk about it and decide on a solution together instead of just making kind of your own decision that affects both people.
I think you're doing that now, talking it out with the community. They seem pretty supportive. So I think you're talking it out. I think
it's funny.
I don't know how anybody could think this is funny. I mean, if we rewind just a few months ago to the very first time you wore that Young LA shirt, you came on here saying, I had sex wearing a Young LA shirt. And now
I may never have sex again.
I can't believe you had it the first time. So I mean, we just need to be happy for what you. Oh Jesus Christ! It's gonna be a show. It's gonna... Get it together. Get it together. Unique New York. Unique New York. Get it together. Here we go. We both picked Romious, become a premium member. I don't know if the value's there in DraftKings Fantasy, but certainly if he could finish Bolanos, it will be worth it. But Romious is the pick. Unlock all the picks, the bets, the tools, the round line leads, and more. WeWantPicks.com. Click. Become a member at the top. This was a funny joke at my expense. Nope. This one. Angelo broke up with vegetables. I fucking just had green beans, okay?
Someone said, we're all so proud of you, Jacob.